Okay, well, I'm John Lee with St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. And let's see, what is today? Friday, March the 25th, 2022. Next week, I guess just a couple of things. Next week, we do have Kathy Davis, Ask the Attorney coming in. So if you got anything you want to talk to attorneys about, next week's a good week to do it. And then we have Kevin Chartel coming up for our main event, April 19th. This is pretty exciting. I just got he sent me 20 books I just got in the mail, or got UPS, I guess, delivered 2 days ago. So the first 20 people, in addition to getting a free meal, which we're going to have, this is going to be pretty exciting. You also can get one of Kevin's books. In fact, let me grab one right here. So
I have one somewhere.
Yeah, it's a good book. I just thumbed through it. It's Real Estate Without Renters, which I'm a big fan of. There's nothing wrong with renters, but this is just a different way to do it. And one thing I like about Kevin is he likes both. So be sure to tune in. If you can at all make it live on April the 19th, please do, because you get a free meal. And the networking is a little bit better too. I know Jim and I were talking about that a couple times. There's, we can network a lot online here, but it really is good in person. So, but for the first 20 people, you'll get one of Kevin's books. So if you can at all make it, please tune in. So good morning. Good to see you, Dave. How you doing?
Doing great, thanks.
Good. Yeah, I was just making a couple announcements. I don't know, Jim looks like he just swam off. So all right, so welcome today. Anybody have anything they would like to buy or sell or need help with? Everybody got everything they need? I know we're getting some more rock for our driveway. We still don't have our barn dominium any further than measured out, and some more trees gone and some more rock just about delivered. But we talked to the guy this morning, so we should have that underway this week. It looks like we're going to have some progress, depending on the rain, I guess. And there's Jim back. We thought maybe you swam off, Jim.
No, I want to find my copy of the book to show you that I had it, but I can't find it where I put it. But I do have that. I do have that book.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like a good book. I haven't read it. And I guess technically I'm not supposed to, because we're supposed to give these 20 away. So I might have to go buy one.
I guess if you read it before you give it away, you're okay.
Well, then it'll be used technically.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll probably get a Kindle copy anyway. Or I like real books. I like hard copies. So I'll probably just buy a regular one.
Yeah.
So anybody have anything they want to, that they have for sale right now? Are they looking to buy? The market still seems like it's a buyer's market. I don't know. I still think it's a good time to sell stuff if you got anything to sell. That's just my personal opinion. I did buy some stuff though a couple of weeks ago, which I'm putting up for sale right now. Some lots, which I like. So in fact, Laura and I went down last weekend and took some pictures of some, and also seeing what people were doing on properties that bought some from us. I know the taxes just went up tremendously on one lot that I'm selling, and the guy put a nice little cabin on it down there, which he's planning on living there, I guess, eventually. So he's got a great deal. He's only paying me $39 a month. And the taxes, they went from I think it was $28 a year up to like $158 and some change. So we had to see what the heck's going on. And it looks like he's got a nice little cabin there. So is anybody got anything they want to sell right now? I know a lot of people last week, we had a lot of people looking to buy some stuff. Anybody want to buy anything? Jim, what are you looking to buy right now?
Hold on, I had to unmute myself. Not really looking right now. I'm just got a few other things going on. I am considering selling some stuff, but I haven't made that decision yet.
Okay.
But yeah, with prices where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
I think it's a good time to sell. If you got something to sell, that's just like I said, my personal opinion, things could still go up, and they probably will. Who knows? I don't know. I just know I've been through a couple ice ages. That's what I call them before, when prices adjust or they make corrections or whatever you want to call it. And,
I just wanted to hop on and say hi. I'm new.
Hi.
Hello, my name's Kelly. I just joined this group recently, so I'm looking to get started in real estate investing. I'm at work right now, so I don't know if I'll be able to stay on the whole call, but I thought I'd come in and just say hi and see what you guys were up to.
Well, welcome, Kelly. It's good to have you here. Are you a new investor? Are you? You are. Okay. Well, great. You came to the right place.
Okay, I've not done any deals or anything. I was unable to get to the last meeting, but you're mentioning something in April.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Jim. You want to tell them about?
Well, I don't know how familiar with are the different things in real estate, but there's a lot of things. There's flipping, there's wholesaling, if you want to be a landlord, but there's also notes. And the meeting next month is Kevin Shortell is going to talk about notes. And that's basically being the bank. You can there's performing and non-performing notes. And non-performing notes is good. It could be a good way to even pick up properties. And there's a lot of those out there because the banks are not foreclosing right now because bad publicity, the expense of foreclosing. So they're selling their non-performing notes to hedge funds and other entities. And eventually those notes flow down to people like us, the onesie twosies, which the banks don't want to sell to people like us because they don't want to deal with onesie twosies. They want to sell a whole big block of them. But it's interesting. So you can basically get like rental income without the rental hassles. You're not the landlord. They're not going to call you up, but you still get what we call a mailbox check every month. Okay. And the money that you have invested is secured by the property. You're like the bank. You can foreclose if need be. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. It's just something else, I think, as John calls it, a toolbox of real estate, different things you can look into. So he's interesting. He's good. He's very knowledgeable. And I think every investor should at least be familiar with it. If they may not want to do it, but they should be familiar with it, both performing and non-performing notes. Because if you have some property that you want to sell and it's free and clear, and the tenant wants to buy it and they've got a really good track record of paying you every month, they should have a good track record of paying you the monthly payments for a mortgage too. And if they can't get a mortgage through a bank at the moment because of their credit, because of down payment, you can sell it to them at a higher interest rates as long as they're comfortable with the monthly payments. And if 5 years from the time you sell it, they can refinance it maybe or something. But it just opens up a lot of different options. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you want to add to that, John.
That's exactly right, Jim. No, I mean, what you said, it gives you a lot of choices. And I personally like people owing me more than I owe people. I owe people. So, notes is a way to do that. It doesn't really matter. And that's another reason I like them too, is because it really doesn't matter what's going on with interest rates or with the buyer sellers markets or whatever you want to say. If people owe you, it doesn't matter, even if you're upside down. I've had that situation many times over the years where I owed more than than the property supposedly was worth. Those do make adjustments. So, yeah, and we got a nice meal plan for the first 50 people that show up on location in person on April 19th. I just put a link to a short video from Kevin. He sent us a couple of videos yesterday. I just got them done last night. Or just got them put up last night. So here, this is just a little, maybe a 1 minute and a half video, just saying hello. And then I think we have another one that will be coming out on an email. So, yeah, make sure that you do check your emails, your inbox, and also your bulk or your spam, because a lot of times I know some of the stuff I want kind of goes over there. So just keep an eye on that. It's a good idea to check it every once in a while.
And for the people that came in late, John, tell them that they can get a free book if they're the first 20.
You do get a free book if you're one of the first 20. Then let's see here. Here it is right here. And this is real estate without renters, he calls it. I like the way Kevin presents this too, because he's not only about notes, he's about all the aspects of investing, which Jim, you kind of touched on that. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can buy and hold, you can do notes, you can do wholesaling. There's so many different things and different ways. One of the things too, I see a lot of new people do when they come in, they just say they want to invest, but they don't really know what they want to do. And I think the best thing you can do is just get educated in a little bit of all the arenas, so you can figure out what you want to do. And in fact, one of my coaches that I've studied with, the first thing she says is like, what's your vision? What do you actually expect? And then what tools do you have? What's working right now? And then what tools do you need? So those three things kind of sums up what us investors need a lot of times. First of all, see what you want to do. Being an investor covers a lot of different areas, as you know. So, I mean, there's just a lot of different things. And I personally think you should be educated on everything, or at least as much as possible. You don't have to do everything, just know the mechanics and know what it is. I like to compare it to like the roofers and people that do work for us. I want to know that what goes into a roof. And of course I've done them when I was younger, but I'm not about to get up there on the roof anymore and do this. Okay. But I do want to know it costs $3,000 and not $20,000 or, whatever the case is, and know what's involved with there. When they come down and tell me I need, wood underneath it or something's done, I want to know that that's probably what's going on. So education, I think, is key. And that's one good thing I think I like, I've always liked about our group. And, Jim and I and Alex and I think Amber's here too, or we're on the board here. We volunteer. We pay the same dues as everybody else, per year, the $75. And we do this because our group is more about education. We're not just trying to sell you stuff all the time. And there's nothing wrong with making a profit and all that. But some of the, some groups around, they're just trying to sell you something all the time, or they're trying to sell you properties. We don't do that here. What we're doing on Fridays, we're just networking. You got something to buy or sell, feel free to speak up and share. So anyway, that was a mouthful. Does anybody got anything, speaking of buying and selling, they would like to share with us today? Jim, if you did have something to sell, what would that be?
Well, I got my house in Spanish Lake that's vacant right now. My best tenant I ever had got transferred to, I think, North Carolina or South Carolina. And that was a possibility of actually selling them the house and carrying back the note. And they moved, and they really liked the house, and I really liked them as a tenant. So it's possible that I'd sell that house, but I'd probably maybe want to sell it more as a retail property than an investment property.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a house I have in St. John that's a Section 8 with a tenant in it. And, they pay every month. I have no problem. And if somebody makes me the right offer on that, I'd maybe sell that too. So those are the two that I'm maybe looking at turning around, selling. If
Amber says you're never selling.
Somebody give me the right price.
Amber said you're never selling in the chat there.
Yeah.
Well, the rents are gone up too now from what.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that never gets adjusted. It seems like, even if the values do, the rents don't seem to change.
I'm getting good rents right now. St. Louis is very good. As everybody probably that has rental property knows, St. Louis has very good rental rates.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. This is kind of like a hidden gem. I know some people come in here and want to invest without knowing the area and knowing the market, but we have an advantage because we know the different neighborhoods and what they should and shouldn't, kind of bring in rent, I think, a lot of times. And we have people like David Soto on here that we can talk to. Yeah,
I will agree with using a property manager, David or whoever, but since David's here, we'll use David. But yeah, I mean, they're in this every day. They know the markets. They know what's happening, where I don't. I'm not doing this every day. I've got another full-time job. And I've been, they'll tell you can get this much or you can stay away from that area. I don't care what it costs. Don't buy there because that's just not gonna be anything but trouble.
Mhm.
So a property manager can be a lot more help than just managing the property.
Mhm.
And David, you can go ahead and say anything else you like, but yeah, I mean, I'm really big into property managers.
No, the big thing about having a property manager is that, you know, like you said, Jim, if it's not your full-time job, there's a lot to it. People think it's just go out there and find a tenant and collect your rent. There's a lot to it, and the tools that are available to do it, especially for me, you know, they're abundant. I'm leaving Sunday night for a conference in San Antonio with the National Association of Residential Property Managers, and it's going to be a great education. I've been doing this for we're coming up on 14 years, but I still go to these things to learn more. So that's what I have over, you know, somebody that just does it by themselves. I get an education. I'm up to date on everything that's going on. I'm very involved in advocacy, and I know what the laws are, and you know, I'm involved in those laws, and I see them as they come up in the bills, because that's what I concentrate on. That's what, you know, that's my focus. And you know, whatever you focus on is what you're going to achieve. So that's the difference. And you know, a lot of people do it on their own, and they're very successful, and that's good. But a lot of people don't have the time to do it or don't want to do it, and that's where we come in. You know, for the most part, you know, like I tell people, we take care of everything. You, on the 15th of the month, you get an email from us saying your money's been deposited in your bank account, and you can go online and get your statement and see transactions that happened. So again, people are successful doing it themselves, and I'm happy for them. There's plenty of business out there. So good for you. And Kelly, welcome, and get yourself an education. That's what I tell people. The first property that I bought, I had no idea what I was doing. And I failed miserably. And because I had a full-time job, and so I couldn't do it. I found a property manager right away, and things turned around. I ended up buying the property management company, you know, several years later, and doing it myself. So,
David, another advantage I found out of property management company is they have people to do things. Like if the air conditioner goes out, okay, now I got to worry about, okay, who am I going to call? And oh, they're booked up for the next 2 weeks. Where a good property manager has people that will not only go in a timely manner to fix what needs to be fixed, but you're not going to get ripped off. They're going to be fair because they know that I'm depending on this company to give me more business. For me, they're going to tell me, oh, you need a new air conditioner. I'm going, well, I don't know. Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but what am I going to do? Where usually a good property manager works with companies that's not going to do that. They're going to just be very fair.
And there's like, we have relationships with our vendors, right? And while we're, you know, we do most of all of our maintenance here in our market that I'm sitting in, but you know, we have relationships with the vendors, and we get discounts, or we can work with them. We got an HVAC guy, a company that will work with us and allow the owner to pay in payments, or pay half now, half later, whatever, so that they work with us. So that's an advantage that you're not going to get when you do things, you know, with one or two properties. So,
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. That a lot of times will keep somebody encouraged that's a new investor, because like you said, David, your first one you had a problem with. I've had problems too with managing them myself, and before you know the ins and outs. And if you got somebody that's already been through that, they kind of know what's going on. And with the vendors, that's huge right there. That is huge. And what little bit it costs you, because I know a lot of people look at, oh, it's going to cost me money every month. Yeah, what's it going to cost you if you don't do it? You know, I've had some situations where I spent a lot more money than it ever cost me for my management company.
So we talk about experience. You know, right now I've got 1,000 tenants. So, and I've been doing this for almost 14 years now, and so I've dealt with a whole lot more than 1,000 tenants. You know, that's what I have today, right now. Wow. And so I have a staff that deals with these things on an everyday basis, and we always get something new always comes up, but we've got that experience. A lot of things that come up, we've already done it. We can handle it. We know what to do. So.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's great. Thank you for sharing. And looks like, let's see, Amber wanted to know if you're in Kansas City, but no, you're on this part of the state, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm only on the east side from Sikeston up through St. Louis. So.
Okay. Do you want to put your contact information in there, David?
Sure.
For somebody to get a hold of you if they when they need it, I should say, as they need it. So. Yeah, the west side of the state, that's a little bit further probably than we're going to drive, I would think, or you're going to anyway.
Amber might be able to check with the REIA in the Kansas City area, see if they have any members or recommendations.
Yeah, who is that? It's the Maria, Ariea, I believe. Karen Tucker, I think, is the one who heads it. I don't have her contact information, but you may want to look her up.
Yeah, I don't remember. Diana might have it, or
Yeah.
Pat Heiser might have it. I don't remember.
I think I Googled it once and I found, I did find somebody, and it was funny because, what's his name? David Randolph. He was all over their page doing short sales as well. So
Could very well be.
Why should that be a surprise?
Yeah, exactly. He's on Clubhouse a lot too. I'm on some of the rooms, and a friend of mine runs, Jennifer Hammond. She's presented our group, but she's on there every week, and I'm on her show a lot. David Randolph, he pops in quite often. So I think
John, speaking of David Randall, I'm looking for some other potential private money lenders in the St. Louis area. So I don't know if anyone's dealt with anyone, but would be interested in establishing a relationship with other private money lenders in the area. If anyone knows of anyone.
Okay, you want to put your contact information in there for us, Denise, and you can check with, I don't know what you're looking for, but you can check with like JMRE Capital. That's one of our vendors. They do a lot of things that a lot of people don't do. And their contact information should be on our website, STLREIA.com. So STLREIA.com. So you can check there. And if you don't have it, just send me a note and I'll get it for you. I can look that up, but I don't have it handy here. Yeah, there seems to be some money floating around right now. And
speaking of money, I do have a question. So I had a tenant in my Kansas City property who has passed away. But before he passed, we had applied for the emergency COVID funding. And so he had family members still working that effort and trying to get the money because he was behind. And before he passed, I would say he was probably 2 months behind, going on 3, but then he passed at the beginning of this year. I heard back from the family basically saying now, because he has passed, the state is saying they're not going to pay the money. And I know that's like an odd question, but that's on my to-do list today, to call and understand that a little bit more, because I just have a hard time, and I'm not going to drop the issue because he did owe me that money. And at the time it was a valid request, but because he's passed away, I don't get the money. That doesn't seem, and I hate to use the word, but fair.
Amber, that might be a good question for Kathy Davis next week. Yeah, you may want to check with her when she's on next Friday. Because I think you should be entitled to the money myself. I mean, that just sounds like you have very much have a valid point there.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lease, we had all of the paperwork. I mean, they're just slow to respond. And unfortunately, he did pass away from COVID. I mean, he struggled with it for a while, and I didn't get paid.
Wow.
Well, I mean, because what they're also trying to say is, and I held the house for a while with his belongings in there, but it's like, had I evicted him, I would have been a bad person, which I would have never done that. But you know, it's kind of like I'm left holding the bag.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You have a really valid claim there. But I would think Kathy might know, or at least would get you in the right direction, you know?
Yeah.
So I would definitely ask her if you can wait another week.
Yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere with this one. So yeah.
Okay.
Amber, a couple things. First of all, I would also get hold of of your state rep and bring it to the state rep. Maybe they can help, maybe not, but at least they'll look into it. And another thing, give me your contact information, because I've got contacts for property managers in Kansas City. I'll see if I can refer somebody to you.
Oh, perfect. Thanks.
Great. Anybody got anything they're working on right now that they might need a contractor for? Or any contractors here that are looking for something? I know everybody's pretty busy right now that I've talked to. This is a good time to put it out there, though.
I have a question.
Sure.
How do you determine, or what's a good way to figure out a interest rate for owner finance on an investment property? We want to sell it all outright, but do an owner finance. How do you determine or get an interest rate that's like right now it's 4.5% for a good someone with good ratings, and that say it's somebody, you know, that's like 600 score. So how do you, I don't want to be predatory. I don't want to double it, you know?
Well, you got the Dodd-Frank if you charge interest. That's something that I usually do a little differently. There's a lot of different different theories and different ways people do that. I personally just mark my properties way up and charge 0% interest. You probably know a little bit of how I do it, Alex, but
Yeah.
It just depends on what you want to do. And are you crafting this yourself?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You can just look at it. Chances are you don't have a lot of properties out there, although you may get that point, and then you'll have to deal with it. But if you don't have a lot of them, there's a lot of things you don't have to deal with. It's really just up to you. Typically, I see a lot of people charging maybe a couple of points higher. It really depends on the borrower if they can't get any money any place else and how much they're putting down. I mean, you just have to weigh all the factors yourself, Alex, and see what really is what's fair for you and fair for them. You know?
I know there's a pretty good return for owner finance.
Yeah.
If you looking at the like a 30 years on an interest, it's pretty considerable, and you don't have to pay taxes or insurance and upkeep.
Yeah. That's something that Kevin, I don't know if you can wait that long, but that's something Kevin will talk about next month, generating your own notes for owner financing. That's where a lot of notes come from. And I know he'll cover it. I mean, and he can answer questions. My initial thoughts are, of course, it's going to be a higher interest rate than the banks are charging. Otherwise, they'd go to the bank, but they can't because, like you said, they're 600 or whatever. My thought is whatever you can get that they can afford the monthly payments with the taxes and insurance. And they're going to have to understand, of course, it's going to be more than the current interest rate or mortgage rate. But in 5 years, once they get their credit better established and they have some equity, they can go ahead and refinance it. They can refinance the house if need be. So I mean, I would try to get as much as you can that you both consider fair, as long as they can afford the monthly payments. I think that's the key. But also, I forgot what I was going to say now. But yeah, if they could go to a bank, they go to a bank. So it's not going to be a bank rate.
Right.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. If you do this, you really need to have a third party service the note. You need, and Kevin will go through that probably. you got to have a third party service the note, because if you ever want to sell that note as a performing note, by having a third party servicer have all the records, you can say that, yes, this note is a good note that you're trying to sell to another investor. Where if it's not, and you're just writing stuff down and, you know, and a yellow pad of paper, they don't know if those records are correct or not. So spend the extra money and have it serviced by a regular
Right.
mortgage servicer.
Right. Well,
And that way you also,
if you
excuse
quote
me?
an extra high rate, the way things are now, in 3 to 5 years, that may be the going rate.
well, could be. But
Yeah,
they can
I mean,
always,
if you quote 7.5 or 8% in 3.5, 5 years, that could be the interest rate, mortgage interest rate, because that was a good rate not too long ago,
yeah.
7.5%. Okay.
But the question is, are you going to keep, let's say you do a 30-year note, are you really going to keep that note for 30 years?
No, I'm 74 years old.
Yeah. So after the note is seasoned, you probably might want to sell it. And
Right.
that's why you want to make sure that whatever you do, just when you set the note up and you have it serviced, is a way that another investor can go look at it and say, yes, that is a good note, and not have any question about it. And you can sell that note, of course, at a discount, but you'll get your money.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
So
I can definitely wait a couple weeks till the meeting.
yeah.
Yeah, Kevin would definitely be the person to ask about that, especially if you're looking at buying and selling notes. He's done what, 1,000 of them? Or
Yeah,
so.
he's done a lot. And like I said, and he also should cover generating your own note for like owner financing, because that's just a normal thing to do with notes too.
And if you're one of the first 20, you'll get a copy of his book.
Oh my. Okay.
So,
And of course, Dave Randolph charges 18% plus 8 points. And he says, if you find somebody asking more, tell him and he'll raise his rates. But his are more for interim loans or
Right.
construction, so to speak, renovating a property and then paying him off after you get
Right.
done.
Right.
Yeah, hey, I'm right here. Yeah, the thing that's unique about it is for new rehabbers, my heart and passion is to help new ones get started. So in that 8 points and 18% is I'll give you all the money to buy it, all the money to fix it up, all the money for the points on the loan, and all the money for the monthly interest payments. So you need $0 financially to start rehabbing.
David, you want to put your contact information in our chat for us there?
Yeah,
So
I
if
can.
somebody needs
Also
any
gotta-
money?
Yeah, just text, I'll put it in the chat, but text Lend, L-E-N-D, to my phone number at 636-685-2990. That's 636-685-2990. And I got a 4-page lending document. There's a whole lot more that comes with that. I help you through their critical path, give you my contractors, material suppliers, product SKU numbers, and then there's another 2 pages after that.
Contractors accept painters.
Actually, I got a couple of pretty good painters. The problem is they went to about $2 a square foot, which isn't too bad compared to other contractors.
Okay. Well, you used to not give your painter out because they didn't have time to even do your properties.
Yeah, that is true. But I've got others. I just don't give you mine.
Do you have anything for sale right now, David? Or did you get rid of your, what'd you have? You had a rehab, I think, down in Cherokee neighborhood?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I got somebody who was gonna go take a look at it, but they didn't really get back to me with anything. It's a gut rehab, so it's not for the faint of heart. It's 3,400 square foot on it, so that is still available. If somebody wants to contact me at the same phone number, we can give you some details about it. But it's a like a, 2-to-1, 4-to-1 conversion, but it's got a new roof on it already, new windows in it. It's just that I got 3 rehabs and I don't like rehabbing anymore. Going to get rid of that one. I love coaching, and short sales are taking off like crazy. And so I'm just going to pretty much just get rid of that one on Cherokee 63118.
Good opportunity for someone.
Hey, David, I think before you jumped on, I was looking for a property manager in Kansas City. Do you possibly have any contacts that may be able to point me in a direction?
Yes, I do actually in KC, because I'm teaching short sales in Kansas City. I got students making a lot of money on short sales there. And so there's two property managers I know I don't have at hand here. Just contact me after the call or something.
Okay.
Send me a text or something, 636-685-2990. One is more tailored towards short-term rental side management, and the other is a regular, management company, depending on what you want.
All righty. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, John, I'm looking for something else too. Anybody on here, if they know a QuickBooks bookkeeper, I'm hiring a new bookkeeper. I've been having a devil of a time trying to, find somebody with QuickBook experience. It's a part-time position. Most of the work is from home, but I do need somebody to come into the office like 1 day a week, because I just can't get around the fact you got to print out checks and, stick stuff in a filing cabinet. But if you know anybody on here that knows QuickBooks, as a bookkeeper, I got a part-time position in my company. My gal had to leave. And so looking for a new bookkeeper.
Bookkeeper with QuickBooks. All right. Anybody else have anything they'd like to buy, sell? Need a painter, I guess, or contractor?
I have a request. I'm looking for a modular home. So I have a lot, and I had actually a contract. I was working with somebody, but once I finally figured out all the details, they had already sold it, which is understandable. So I'm looking for a modular home to put on a lot in the city of St. Louis.
Oh, okay. If anybody knows anybody with modular homes, that's something that's come a long way in the last, I don't know, 25, 30 years, because it used to be they put them in the same category as mobile homes, which is they're definitely not. And then as I think we bought one at one time, and we had a little problem with the financing, but this goes back many years. And now, since they're connected to the dirt, is what the banker actually told me, it's a little bit different than it used to be. So yeah.
Michael Barr was getting involved in that. I don't see him on the call here. Michael Barr, B-A-H-R, the former broker who's retired, travels around the country going to conventions and crazy stuff like that and just enjoying life. But he was talking to me the other month about something to do with modular homes. I didn't catch all the details. So contact me after this here too, and I'll look up Michael's phone number.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he is out of town right now. I know when he showed up at our meeting back here a couple weeks ago, our main meeting, he was talking about just getting back from Florida, and then he was heading off to, I don't remember if it was Las Vegas or somewhere for another convention. He's like you said, David, he's out enjoying his education right now. So, but he knows a lot of things. He actually talked last year about, or maybe it was a year and a half ago or so, about actually jacking houses up and putting a second floor on them, which was kind of interesting. That's a whole process in itself. So
yeah, and before that, he was actually came up with a patented system to move the house from one city or one street to another street. So all kinds of ties together with him.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
There you go. Yeah, I know he should be at our next meeting. I think he said he'll be back in town when Kevin Chartel will be here. So that's the 19th. So if you can all make it, that's going to be a great one. You'll get a free meal if you're one of the first 50. And if you're one of the first 20, you'll get a copy of Kevin's book. So mark your calendars if you can. If you can make it, that'd be great. And we'll look forward to seeing Mike there.
Hey, John, just refresh my memory because I think we were still in debate about it. Do you have to RSVP or was there a RSVP sent out for that?
It's best if you do, but what I can tell you from past experience with other meetings, just make sure you show up early. That's the best thing to do. RSVP, but just make sure you show up early, because if that's all we can go by is who shows up first come, first serve. But yeah, it's definitely RSVP. There will be some more information, Amber, on the website as soon as they have a chance to get it together. I know we've been working on it this week, and I just got those videos from Kevin like yesterday. The book showed up a couple days ago, so we are putting together everything. Newsletter will be out soon. I believe we have a postcard planned also, and I might do a call fire broadcast. So if you do get a call from me and it's not me talking, it will be me talking on a recorded message. So that's something I have planned to do probably closer to the event though.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything because I do look at my email. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss a RSVP button.
I don't think there is one yet.
Okay.
But I think, but didn't Lloyd say something about maybe having people RSVP so they know how much food to order?
Yeah, well, you definitely want to RSVP, but
Yeah.
But you want to show up early too. You don't want to just do like your wedding invitations where you RSVP and you might make it, might not. Just want to make sure you make it if you do. And you can bring a friend, just get there early. That's all I can tell you. I would be early. And do watch your inbox and look at the website. We should have something out real soon on that. It should be the next. Well, I worked on some stuff last night that we're going to have, and they'll have like I said, the newsletter will be out soon. So watch your mailboxes too.
Amber, what part of Kansas City are you looking for the manager?
I was just looking at the zip code. It is 64130.
Okay, thanks. I'll see what I can find out for you.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about today? This is a great time to do it. Everybody's got everything they need. Hello?
Hello, I'm Carmen. I'm new to the group. And I'm looking at purchasing multifamilies and single families. And what I'm coming into, a lot of people are rehabbing and then putting tenants in the properties and then wanting to sell them. But the rehabs are like still dated. So you really can't get the true ARV in today's market. Do you all have any suggestions or to help with, when they put a tenant in? I even had a home where someone said they wanted 130 in North County, and they were going to do the updates once an offer was accepted. They were going to rehab it. The seller would rehab it once the offer was accepted.
And you're looking mainly for like Airbnb short-term rentals. Is that right, Carmen?
No, for buy and hold.
For buy and hold. Okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Yeah, you just have to get out there and look and see what they're doing. Right now is kind of an interesting time because people are, I think, doing a little bit less on the rehabs because they can get away with it. And probably the best thing to do, put your contact information in the chat for us, Carmen, and just what you're looking for. Are you looking mainly for North County? Is that what you're looking for buy and hold?
North County as well as South City.
South City. Okay. Okay. And is there any certain price ranges you're looking for? Are you actually looking for something with a tenant in there like that? Or are you really looking for something you want to put in your own tenant?
Yeah, I would rather be able to vet them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I personally, I like that a little bit better because I've bought properties both ways, and you know, I've had some that I had to honor the rest of the lease from that they weren't my best tenants. I've also had some that turned out pretty good. So it just, you know, that's kind of a hit and miss. But if you can vet your own, like you're talking about, Carmen, I think a lot of times you're better off. Or have somebody like David Soto do it because they're already experienced and they can, you know, they kind of already know what to look for, and you know, some of the things that some of us maybe that are not as experienced maybe could miss. So yeah. So are you looking for something that you can rehab yourself? Or are you looking for something that's turnkey, or I guess that's another question.
Rehab, I would prefer not to do a full gut right away, but you know, mild or cosmetic rehab.
Okay.
What price range are you looking at?
I would like to stay under 200.
Yeah.
Unless it's a multi.
Okay, I've got a house in Spanish Lake that I'm, even though Amber says I'm not going to sell, I might think about it.
If you put the address in the chat, I'll definitely look it up.
Okay, well, let me take your, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Right now, there's no tenant in it. And I'm thinking if I sell it now before I have to go hassle with a new tenant, it might be worth it. So if your information's in the chat, then I will maybe give you a call or contact you.
I was going to ask, do you have the opportunity while you're, you know, putting in your offers to state that you want the tenants out upon, you know, closing? Is that an option? That way you can take over, you know, the property, but then you don't have to deal with their tenants.
I'd say only if they got a month-to-month lease. If they're on a year lease, I think you have to honor the lease.
Even once the
Yeah.
property is sold?
I believe so.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
And to that point, I'm finding that they're signing, like yesterday, I had one where they just renewed the lease in January for a year or like 13 months. And they're already like $200 under market.
Yeah, so that's why when you buy the house, you basically have to either buy the house knowing that, or you have to buy the house and require the seller to get the tenant out of the house through the eviction process, which means you're not going to close very quickly, most likely. But yeah, when
Right.
you're buying a house, you're buying everything that goes with it. You know, all legal contract, they even changed the law back to what it was before on foreclosures. If you buy a foreclosure house and there was a lease on it, you can't kick the tenant out. That kind of came in during 2009 and 10, and then it kind of went away. But then about 2 or 3 years ago, they brought that back in. If you do a foreclosure house and they can show that they had a valid, up-to-date, executable lease with the former owner of the home, you just had to honor that until the lease expired.
One thing we've done several times too is we timed our closings on tenants that were already in place right around the first of the month, right after the first. And that way the previous owner paid us the security deposits and the month they paid in advance. So we've several times gotten several $1,000s up front just on the date we closed. Now you still are locked in, where we were anyway, locked into the lease for the term, the balance of the term, but that's a way to maybe offset some of that. So if you find somebody that's maybe only has a few months left on their lease, you can get the security deposit and the rents they prepaid transferred to you right away. So that a lot of times that can make a difference. I know it has for us.
I have included that in my offers. I've been told no a couple times, but I have definitely added that.
Yep, just bug Jim. He's got a house there with no tenant in it right now, and it's probably in pretty good shape, would be my guess.
It's in actually very good shape.
Yep.
I just got to decide what I want to do with it. As I think Laura Jimerson's on, she knows kind of maybe why I'm going through this. I won't get into it, but yeah, I was going to keep it as a rental. Now I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
I understand, Jim.
Thanks, Laura.
All right. Well, Carmen's got her phone number in there. So if you got something in North, what was it, South City or North County? It's kind of a light rehab or cosmetic with no tenant. So anybody else have anything they'd like to share today? A lot of good shares here.
Kelly again. I'm looking probably to start initially with some wholesaling. So just wondering if anybody's done that in the area. I'm in South County, so looking South County, Jefferson County, South City, just looking for any feedback or advice anybody might have.
Okay. Anybody have anything in South County? You're looking mainly to wholesale, you said, Kelly?
Just to get started, and like any marketing strategies you've used that were successful, whatever, I'm open.
Well, there's a lot of good strategies out there. Right now, the market's kind of funny, and I know there's a lot of people. Even I've noticed even commercials on the radio and on TV, which when it gets to be that point, things are kind of crazy. They're looking to buy houses, and really the non-traditional ways still work no matter what the market's doing. And at least in my opinion, I like to look at people's getting behind on their taxes that are not at the tax sale yet. That's always good. Just sift, sort, and separate through the tax records because all that is public. That's always a good way to look at it. And then you can contact those people. Once they get to the tax sale, it's usually everybody's already looked at it. That's just a strategy. Bandit signs are still pretty good, except you got to be careful where you put those. And that's just where you say, we buy houses. The one I used the best for many, many years was we buy houses, cash or takeover payments, and just had my phone number on there. One of the problems I see a lot of people doing with their signs is you can't read them because they try to make them homemade looking, or they have too much on their sign too. You have too many things on there, and phone numbers seem to work the best. A lot of people are uncomfortable and they like emails now. I don't know. You can look for, this is not probably the best time, but you can still do it. Look in the ads, like some of the classifieds, like Craigslist and some of them, just look through their handyman specials, things like that. Right now it's still kind of a buyer's market. So you don't have quite the inventory you do at other times, but it doesn't mean it's there. They're still out there. There's people that still have divorces, deaths, all kinds of disasters. It still happens. They cannot or will not fix up their home. David Randolph knows that really well. When people move out, they leave stuff. They leave stuff that needs to be done. And those are what you want. You just got to get past the cosmetic. If you can get past the junk and look at the bones, you're in pretty good shape. So it's just, there's no magic button, or you can't wave the magic wand, but just get out there and do it. Yeah, just look and see what other people are doing, see what they're selling for in the neighborhoods. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Kelly, I don't know if you were looking for somebody as a mentor or whatever, but now Chris Creeline, yes.
Do you want to make any announcements before we get started here, Lloyd?
Yeah, I would like to let everybody know. Today is the March 11th.
Hey, Alex, can you go on mute, please?
Yeah, I just muted him. I think he by mistake, but he unmuted by mistake. He was listening to something else, it sounded like. So
now I'm just saying there's a lot of members that do wholesaling, and I don't know if you're looking for somebody to mentor you or not, but one of our members, Chris Creeline, I think does mentor wholesale students. So I mean, that's one option. I don't have his contact info here. I don't know if John does or somebody, but if you come to he does every once in a while come to a meeting, you might be able to see him there, or just network with other wholesalers at the meeting and talk to them, because you did say you're new, so I just didn't know exactly
am.
what type of help you wanted.
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Okay.
The
Hey,
other-
Kelly, I put my contact info in the chat box too. Short sales is another way to get houses really cheap. We just got an approval from the bank to buy one in St. Louis City for 25 grand with an ARV of about 205 to 220. Moratorium on foreclosures ended last year, so a lot of people are getting foreclosed right now.
Okay. Okay, I did reach out to you. Flipping is another thing that I'm considering, but I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet.
All right. Anybody else have anything they're looking for, or anything they got to sell, buy, need, want?
I guess I could ask,
Mhm.
obviously, Jim mentioned the guy about generating notes the next meeting, but if you were looking to figure out how much your property's worth, unfortunately in the city, they don't have those records like the county does of properties that have sold in the last 6 months, and you can try to evaluate by that. Other than getting a broker to give you an opinion, do you have any other ideas on how to evaluate the market value of a property in the city?
I've got one that I've used in the past. I'm not saying use the Zestimate, but if you go on Zillow or Redfin, you can go, there's a button you can select that says property sold in the last 3 months, and you can, it'll show you the prices there.
Okay, thanks, Amber.
All right. Good information. Anybody else got anything they'd like to share today? Or is everybody getting ready for lunch? Just about that time. All right. Well, if not, I guess we can go ahead and wrap up our networking today. I will get the rendition done, and the recording up on YouTube is probably by this afternoon. It should be on the website in the member section by the link anyway by Monday. Patrick can't always get it done by the end of the day on Friday because he's on the East Coast and his clock works a little different than ours, but we will do it as soon as we can. I appreciate everybody showing up today. A lot of good information. So anybody have any last minute things they'd like to share with us before we go? No? All right. Well, I thank you so much for tuning in and for attending today. And be sure to mark your calendars for the 19th, Tuesday night. Doors open at 6:30. I would be there early. Make sure you get a meal. One of the first 50 are get a book for the first 20. One of Kevin Chartel's, he's going to be there on note investing, which is something I'm real kind of passionate about myself. I like clean fingernails. So that's just me. But I think you should learn everything, and you're at the right place. We have a great group of people here, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Everybody.
Hey, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, John.
All right. Thanks, Bruce. See you guys later.
Thanks,
Bye.
John.
Bye, Dave.
Thanks.
Bye, Jim. Okay.